The manual for this Super CD title brags on the cover, "Real Beach Boys music," and that is the truth. In fact, as soon as you begin Camp California, you hear "I Get Around" and good vibrations right off the bat. If that is appealing to you, then score 1 point right there. You also see the name ICOM Simulations printed, which is sometimes a hit, but oftentimes seems slightly amiss. When you begin the game, a cutscene appears showing the dudes of the Camp California band being all bummed out. Dude, you see the Big Cheese nuclear power plant is going to be built right over their precious beach. Now the gang must raise enough money to keep the beach from being sold, not to mention find each of the kidnapped crew members, their instruments, the tires for their car, etc. This cutscene and a few others appearing in the game are quite corny and over the top, but then again, it starts with a name like Big Cheese, so what did you expect? CC is an action platform and exploration game. You begin as Byron, but as you find and release members of the crew, you can choose to control them as well. Pages 8 through 10 of the manual describe each of their unique qualities. For example, Byron has punches, kicks, ducks, etc., while Lil Bro uses his skateboard for navigation and attacks. There are some situations where you will need a particular character, so experimenting with them all is imperative. You start the game with 5 lives and you get 1 continue. You move from city to city throughout California and beyond by driving the Woody, really the vehicle is called the Woody, around the map. There are 9 locations you need to enter, get from beginning to end, and complete. The game doesn't always make it clear, especially on first play, what you are supposed to do. So you just press every button until you finally get to an action screen. The Woody controls pretty wonky, by the way, sometimes causing you to go in a different direction than you would like. Ugh. Some of these action platform locations are actually pretty long, with upper and lower sections. Then again, it isn't always clear what you can jump on in order to progress to the higher levels, so there is that. You have beach levels, ice levels, dungeons, malls, pyramids. It's a strange but unique mixture. Wait, Castlevania? Is that Simon Bearmont? Yikes, even I'm embarrassed about that one. You'll find banana peels, pop cans, and other items for recycling in stages. Although they all sound like cans when you collect them. Aluminum bananas. Some of these items are hidden, so they require a little exploration of the levels. At the end of the stage, you are taken to a recycling center where all items are converted to gasoline. You'll see the fuel meter moving up, which is good because you need fuel to power the Woody. Let's see. Now what's over here? Wait, what just happened? Okay, the car stalled and ran out of gas. Alright, let's start it up and keep going. Wait, the game is over? A major gripe with me on this game is you'll lose gas and eventually lives, and then continues until you figure out exactly where to drive. Because you have to start over every time, it makes exploring to figure out where to go, well, not very fun at all. It is tedious to collect items as it is, let alone be punished for taking a wrong path or running out of gas on the map screen. Anyway, other items in a stage to pick up include hearts, which replenish health, 1-ups, etc. You'll find some weird enemies along the way that are just sick of you, apparently. They all have erratic and annoying patterns and behaviors. How to defeat them depends on where you are, like crabs you need to duck or be halfway on a branch, jump over bullets and then attack, and stuff like that. Enemies who throw projectiles cannot hurt you, only their tossed items can, so stand on them as much as you want, just watch out for their snowballs. Ah, that is some dangerous snow. Man. Camp California is bright and colorful right off the bat. The title screen teases you with some multi-scrolling, but sadly, the game exhibits none of this in-game. But the characters are bright and cheery, and it has a pleasing look. There is decent character in this game, which is a plus, and while seeming a tad flat at times, I do like how the game looks. Obviously, Beach Boys music appears, but there are some other tunes as well. In fact, a number of the original tunes are actually pretty catchy. There is some speech, but man, hearing bogus, bummer, and such with every hit is definitely a bogus bummer. The sound package isn't necessarily bad. It's not great, but if you're not a fan of the Beach Boys, well, that's going to make it worse for you. Controls. Well, sometimes they're okay depending on what you're doing and what character you have. Byron, for example, has some quick punches, but man, his jumps are floaty and his hitbox is all over the place. Okay. Some of the other controls, while working in your favor at times, have that strange delay. I don't know, it's something we've seen in other ICOM simulation games, to be honest. They can't quite get the action platform part of this stuff figured out, and the controls just lack polish. There are times Camp California just has an unfinished feel. Some of the choreography and menus and structure is a bit lackluster. At the end of the first stage, you meet a boss who has your final tire, but you have to find the other tires before fighting him or else you can't progress, even though he's like a boss, and after defeating him, nothing will happen. It's just confusing. It's almost like the game is missing instruction. It does have some cool personality, as I said. Old ladies hitting you with their purses, walking through the toy section of a mall where you get attacked by trains and radio-controlled planes and jump on Lego blocks. Well, except for these small ones. Jumping. You need to have certain characters to clear levels, and that's kind of fun. One is necessary to fly and the other swims underwater. However, until you have them, you're screwed. You can't just hit start, select, and return to the character select screen. You have to backtrack if you screw up. And if you drove to the wrong spot and have to find someone, you'll run out of gas trying to find the character you need to have. The lack of a save feature or extra continues really hinders my enjoyment of the game because of its length and wonky exploration. Bogus. Bummer. Dude. Camp California is not the worst game you'll ever play. It does have some nice personality and a few great ideas. The problem is, the execution is average and there are too many things in the game that feel unpolished. You might not have the attention span to keep repeating the thing over and over only to figure out your car drove the wrong way and you're out of gas. I can't recommend the game, but there are a few items in it that might give you some good vibrations. Yep, I'm embarrassed of that one too.